This video is part of a series teaching you how to play with modes. And to go with this series, I prepared for you a free downloadable pack with 35 backing tracks, full charts, videos, tabs. It's completely free. Check the link below, grab your pack, and let's get into this lesson. Locrian Mode. This is the last lesson of our series on playing with modes. The Locrian Mode is often this mode, this weird scale that is kind of left on the side, and it's really a shame. Most people think that the Locrian Mode is an unuseful mode. You can't use it anywhere. It just sounds weird, and yeah, it does sound a little tense. But there's some awesome things you can do with it, especially with the proper chord progression or the chord vamp. We're going to explore all that. We're going to talk about different tricks to bring out the characteristic of the Locrian Mode in a musical way. That's coming up right after this. Hi, my name is David Wallerman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players like you find your voice on the instrument to tell your own personal musical story. This is the 7th video of our series on playing modal. The main thing with this, and if you are just watching this for the first time, you can watch the others later. That's okay. These are standalone lessons. The main thing, though, is that you need to see these different modes as unique and individual scales. Yes, they're all extracted from the same common major scale. That's how they were born. But we're going to move forward and really see those as unique musical alphabets from which you can pick some letters, notes, to make your own story. Music in this type of setting where we're playing over a backing track is a conversation that you're having with the backing track. And just like any other conversation, you need to speak the same language. And that's where you need to match different elements in music. If I join a group of people speaking Russian, well, I would need to know a few words using the Russian alphabet and Russian language. Same thing here. The beauty of this, though, is that as opposed to real life language, you don't need to learn all the different grammar and vocabulary. All you need is the alphabet, and then pick your words, and they are going to be understood by the people you're speaking to. In this case, the backing track. Let's take a look at that alphabet. The alphabet for the Locrian Mode, also known as the formula or blueprint, is a series of intervals. An interval is the distance between two notes, and that's what creates the tool that we're going to use to communicate with others. And this is why most people avoid the Locrian Mode, because some of the intervals in there are kind of tensed. They're kind of close to each other, and they do sound tense, but that's okay. There can be tensed stories to be told. Let's look at the formula here. We're in G. G is going to be the 1. That's the note that attracts everything else. You can hear that on the bass. Ba, ba, da, ba, ba. That's a G. Right? So it's going to attract everything else you play. Here are the intervals for the Locrian Mode. There are 7 of them. The first one is the 1. That's the root. That's not really a distance. That's a starting point. We're starting with 1, which in this case is G, lower string 3rd fret. Then we have a minor 2nd and a minor 3rd on that same string. That'll be on frets 4 and 6, just like the Phrygian mode that we studied in the previous video. So we have frets 3, 4, 6. For 1, flat 2, flat 3. Flat 3 tells you that the Locrian Mode is part of the minor family of modes or musical elements. It goes in that minor box. So it's going to fit some other minor elements. You need to match musical elements here. Let's continue. On the next string, we have a 4th, flat 5. That's the first time we encounter this in this series, and a minor 6, flat 6. That'll be on the same frets 3, 4, 6. So we played 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, And then we have a minor 7th, which we've covered before. That's on the 4th string, 3rd fret. That's the blueprint. That flat 5 is important, and that's why a lot of people avoid that. Because when you play a minor chord, usually what comes to mind is a chord made of a root, a minor 3rd, of course, and a perfect 5. This, right, that you hear in a lot of chords. In order to match the Locrian storytelling experience, we need to have a flat 5. So the chord is made of a 1, a minor 3, a flat 5, and a minor 7th if you want. Right? Kind of has that mysterious tensed sound. It's not fully diminished. It's called what we call a half diminished. A fully diminished would have a diminished 7th, which that's the topic for another video, but that's what we have. So that means that you can't use the Locrian mode on a traditional minor chord. That's going to clash. You need to have a chord that has that flat 5. Because if you don't match musical elements, that's where things go wrong. In this case, the backing track we're playing over is built with a 1, flat 3, flat 5. So if I play a perfect 5, no, I need a flat 5. Right? It's not every day that we have a vamp, a chord progression with that flat 5. But when you do, beautiful things can happen if you match musical elements. Okay, let me give you the full scale within this position using that formula. 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, and flat 7. Here it is. We're going to use a caged position. This is a knee position within the caged system. Here it is. From the low E string to the high E string, on string 6 we have frets 3, 4, 6, and name the intervals at, who's texting? Hey, that's Robert Baker. Okay. You know Robert, right? Anyways, I'll answer later. Okay, here it is. Low E string, 3, 4, 6 for the 1, flat 2nd, and flat 3. On the next string, we have 4, flat 5, flat 6, which is same frets. We just did that, 3, 4, 6. On the next one, we have on the string number 4, this time we have 3, 5, 6 for the minor 7, flat 7. 1 again, flat 2nd. Next string, 3rd string, same frets. We have frets 3, 5, 6, which is for the minor 3rd, flat 3, 4, flat 5 again. On the next string, we have 2 notes this time. On the 4th and 6th fret for the minor 6th and the minor 7th. And on the 1st string, we have frets 3, 4, 6 for the 1, flat 2, flat 3. All together. Let's play this over our backing track. It matches perfectly, right? Because the chord is made of notes that are found in the Locrian mode, including that characteristic flat 5. Now, as you play this, I want you to name the intervals and anticipate the sound of the note you're playing. So sing it out loud. So we'll do 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7, and so forth. It works great. Now you know the alphabet. You can make words using that particular mode, that language. To make a word, just pick letters and play them. Any letter is fine, any of these notes. So letters here within the blueprint are really numbers. So I can make a word with 1, 3, 4. Within the context, 1, 3, 4. I can play that an octave higher if I want. 1, 3, 4. That's a word that would work over this conversation. It works. Here's another word. Maybe 3, 1, 3, 1, 4. 3, 1, 4. Let's try another one. How about 1, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that'll be 1, 4, flat 5, flat 6. 1, 4, flat 5, flat 6. That's a word. that would work over this. Now, a word can be said in multiple ways. You could say it kind of shy, in a shy way. You can say it really boldly and loud. You can say it fast. You can say it slow. You can have a stutter. All these words are valid words, right? They made a statement that was understood by the people that are speaking that. People, what am I talking about? I'm talking about this. I'm imagining that this is a conversation going on, a group of people speaking that language, the Locrian. I'm jumping in the conversation. And that's where phrasing comes into the picture. One thing that has been very useful in my journey as a musician is to really think of music as a conversation, a language. And for that, you just look at real-time, real-life communication skills. When you're joining a group of people speaking something, you need to have a tone of voice that kind of matches the conversation going on. So if you're playing over a heavy metal track, well, that's one feel. If you're playing over a ballad, that's another feel. And then you need to match the language that is used and all those things. In this case, that's where your personality comes in, by the way. In this case, you're going to listen to what's going on first. You don't want to jump in without knowing any information. You need to know the language, you need to know the tone, the setting and all that. So I'm just listening. And the cues here are the rhythm. It's kind of a cool groove, kind of laid back a little bit. It's not super slow, but it's still laid back. Which tells me I'm not going to blast off a series of notes. I'm not going to speak very, very fast on this. I'm going to try to blend in. Have the cool approach. All these things happen really fast in your mind, but that's the subdivision. The drums is helping you. Triplets. Not triplets, sorry. But that kind of feel. Jumpy type of sound, and then you're going to speak using that. Rhythmically. And then use your alphabet matching that groove. Okay, very simple words are fine too. Maybe pick one of the words that we just used. Maybe 1, 3, 5, 4. It's a 4-letter word. It's a good one. And try to speak rhythmically with that. Make a series of words just with these 4 letters. Now, this is not necessarily impressive on the instrument, but I really want you to stop thinking, if you are thinking like that, and it's hard sometimes not to, but stop thinking like a guitar player. Think like yourself, your voice. You're joining this. Blend in this. Don't stand out necessarily, but just blend in first. Learn how to do that, how to really create something that fits perfectly what is going on. Not to distract from this. You don't want to messed up here, but you don't want to do that because you're taking over. You can't really hear what's going on there. You want to really blend in. In my mind, it's like tack, 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 tack. And you kind of have to do this when you're approaching the Locrian mode, because unlike the other musical alphabets we covered, we don't really have a hidden tool in here. You know, for the Aeolian, Dorian, Phrygian, we found a hidden minor pentatonic. You don't have that in there because minor pentatonic is made of that perfect 5. Locrian is a flat 5, and just like we saw, if you play the perfect 5 over this, it clashes, right? It needs to be diminished. So you really need to focus in terms of short words and making the conversation flow within this conversation that is going on. A key aspect of this is not only the rhythm flow, but also your ear needs to be trained letter by letter to master these intervals. And once you are comfortable with one position here, expand to the next, because as you know, you can play the same pitch on multiple strings, multiple frets, and that's how you can expand from positions. Maybe you get used to this particular position here. And then add one note that is a little bit outside. And you fix as you go if your ear tells you that, ooh, that clashes. By the way, the best way to know if it clashes is to really play over this, right? This approach is a little different than what you might be used to, where you have your chart in front of you, you're following the scales, the scale diagrams, which is a good approach, but here I really want you to use your ear and be aware of the clash that might happen if you pick the wrong notes. Now, if you need those charts, well, you have them, because in the course, the free course that I'm giving away, the free pack, you will get all these charts also. I recommend that you download that. It's completely free. But that's what I have for you for the Locrian mode. The pack that I'm giving away is the modal injection pack. It's a full pack made of 35 high-quality backing tracks, just like this one, in multiple keys. You get full charts. You also get 7 videos in which I improvised over these modes using the characteristic notes of these modes, and those videos, those solos, are fully tabbed for you also. The info is below. Just visit the link, enter your best email address. I'll be sending you that pack right away, completely free. It's a pack that I currently sell on my website, actually, for $47. You're welcome to buy it, but you can get it for free. The link is below. This was your first visit. Thank you. You should consider subscribing, because Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays a new video comes out. And this ends our series on playing modal. We'll move on to something else very soon in the next video. Watch the other videos. I'll put all those in a playlist. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, write them below. Practice well. I'll see you next time.